This program is brought to you by the partners and friends of Anthony Trice Ministries.
How you deceive yourself? By not being honest with yourself. If you got some issues, just admit it. Don't be in denial like you got together. So if you got stuff going on in your heart and mind, just admit it to yourself and let God know, Lord, take this stuff out of me.
So we allow what God never gave us, and that's the spirit of fear.
Let's get into the Word with Dr. Anthony L. Trice.
Amen. See, what we don't understand that many times, like this payday, when he gave it to me, it was fresh. It wasn't smashed. It's been in my purse. When God give us the promise, we just like this payday. We get smashed. We get bent out of shape. We got to go through some turmoils. We be dropped. We be picked up. But how many know that don't change the promise? Amen. Amen. Now we're going to take a look at Ruth. Ruth, we all are familiar with Ruth. We've heard about Ruth, who was the daughter-in-law of Naomi. Naomi and her two daughter-in-laws lost their husbands. They were living good while their husbands were alive. Naomi had two daughter-in-laws. One was named Orpah, and the other one named Ruth. So after the loss of their husbands, they experienced some severe hardship. How many of you know life can change just like that? Amen. You're living good right now, and in the next second, life can change. Amen. And there are unexpected things that happen in life. Unexpected things, because if you was expecting it, you would prepare for it. Amen. So Ruth lost her husband. Not only did this woman lose her husband, but she lost her sons. She lost both her sons. How many know that's devastating? Amen. How many know that's a devastating situation? It's amazing. So after all of this, Ruth decided that she was going to return to her hometown, Israel, because they was living in the Moabite land. Amen. Amazing, because Moabites and Israelites didn't even get along. But they lived in the Moabite land when her husband was alive, and her two sons married Moabite women. Amen. So after the death of the husband and the son, Ruth decided to return to Israel. Amen. And she was unselfish in all that she was going through. You know how sometimes when we're going through, we get bitter. We get selfish. We want to blame everybody for what we're going through. Not that life just happens. Amen. So she was unselfish and telling her daughter-in-laws, I'm going to go back to my hometown. You can return to your hometown, to your mother's, so you can marry again. Amen. And so, but she had one daughter-in-law who had true devotion to her, who had true loyalty to her. Even though she was a Moabite, this Moabite woman saw something in Ruth. She saw Ruth God. And she liked what she saw about Ruth God. Amen. So that tells me that her mother-in-law had to be living a godly life before her. Amen. And so Orpah decided that she would go back to her homeland. But Ruth decided, I'm going to go where you go. I like your God, and I like what your God has done. Amen. I like what I see about your God. I want to worship your God. Amen. That's what people ought to be saying about us when they see us. They ought to say, I like what you got. I like the Christ in you. I want what you got. Amen. But many people see us and don't give us a second look. Amen. Because they say, we ain't got nothing. Amen. So Ruth told her mother-in-law, Ruth said to her mother-in-law, don't you ask me to leave you. Now, you know, most people don't even like their mother-in-laws. Most people don't like their mother-in-law. My future son-in-law is here, and he loves his mother-in-law. Because, you know, most mother-in-laws are always in your business. And most people don't even get along with their mother-in-law. Amen. But how many know that you ain't got to get in your kids' business? Amen. Amen. You can be a good mother-in-law. Amen. And still demonstrate Christ. Amen. So Ruth said, don't you ask me to leave you, and don't you ask me to turn back. She said, I love you so. I love your God, that wherever you go, I will go. How many saying that about us as saints of God? How many saying, just because of what I see in you, wherever you go, I'll go. I'll serve your God because of the Christ I see in you. Too many people seeing us and not the Christ in us. Amen. So she saw the God in Naomi. Amen. And she said, wherever you live, I will live. Wherever you die, I will die. Whoever is your people are my people. Whoever is your God is my God. Ruth was devoted, and the bond that she had with her mother-in-law represents the bond and the relationship we ought to have with Christ. Amen. It represents our relationship and the bond that we ought to have with Jesus. Now, how many know that God is strategic? How many know God knows how to set you? How many know what looks like a disaster can be a blessing? How many know that God takes the terrible things of our life, our messes, and turn it around and make it a message for us? Amen. How many know that God knows how to put us in the right place at the right time? Amen. God is strategic, and he knows where to place you and when to place you and how to place you. So we're going to go into Ruth, because Ruth didn't know that she was being divinely set up. Amen. While we're complaining sometimes, we need to shut up, because God is divinely setting us up. Amen. Amen. So Ruth goes, and they go back to Israel. Amen. And we go into Ruth 2, verses 1 through 10. Let me get there so I can find it. Joshua, Judges, Ruth. Sometimes you got to call the books of the Bible out to find the books. Amen. Don't be so deep and act like you know where the books and you're in the wrong book and I'm reading out of Ruth. But because you couldn't find Ruth and didn't want nobody to know it, go to the table of contents if you need the help. Amen. We not spiritually deep up in here. We will. Amen. Amen. And you'll find the book of Ruth right after Judges. Amen. And we'll start reading in Ruth 2, verse 1.
And Naomi had a kinsman of her husband's, a mighty man of wealth, of the family of Elimelech, and his name was Boaz.
There was someone with wealth in her homeland who was kin to her late husband. And this man, Boaz, was rich. He was wealthy. Amen. Verse 2.
And Ruth the Moabite said unto Naomi, let me now go to the field and glean ears of corn after him, in whose sight I shall find grace.
Okay, so Ruth said, I'm going to go and I'm going to go to work. I'm going to get up and I'm going to bust a move. Yeah, we done had a whole lot happen to us. We done had a whole lot of loss in our time. But we still got to live. How many know life go on regardless of what you face in life? Life still go on. I come to live by this motto that no matter what happens in my life, God is still God. And God is still worthy of the praise. Amen. Now, you got a choice when things happen to you. It's devastating losing your husband. It's devastating losing your children. You got to know that you got God when you go through things in life. That's a tragedy. That's something that will take you out of focus. The loss of your loved one, your husband, your children, your family members. I'm telling you what I know. Amen. I'm not talking to be talking, because I've lost mother and father. I've lost a daughter. Amen. I've lost grandparents. Amen. I've lost sisters and brothers. I've lost them. I've been through some tragedy so I can identify with Ruth and Naomi. These things that make you want to quit, make you want to give up on life. Things that come that will take your focus, that will take you away from God, that will mess with your mental state of being. Amen. So Ruth and they go back to Israel. And Ruth decided got to eat. And in order for us to eat, I'm going to get up and bust a move. Now, I know we had all this go on. It's been enough grieving time. It's time to put our lives back on the right track. Amen. How many know there's a time to get back in the game? Amen. So she decides that she's going to bust a move. And so she said, I'm going to go to the field and glean ears of corn after him in whose sight I shall find grace. Listen to what she said. And she said unto her, her mother-in-law said, go, my daughter. Now, Ruth then had no idea who field she was going to work in. See, that's why when God blesses us with a job, we need to stop complaining. I had to learn that. You need to stop complaining on that job that you think is beneath you. Because you don't know what God is up to. Amen. You don't know what God is using you to do on that job. First of all, if you're a Christian, He's using you as a witness on that job. Amen. Amen. Lord, I just want to get out this job. Get on my nerves, Lord. I don't even feel like going to work. How many of you know that they made it hard for me to go to work every day? Because I was murmuring and complaining about something I asked God to bless me with. Amen. So Ruth gets up and she goes to work, but she has no idea who her employer is. Amen. How many know God uses other people's platform to bless you? That's why we shouldn't be murmuring and complaining. Amen. Because you don't know what God is setting you up for. But you know that murmuring and complaining prolongs the promise and the payday. Amen. So Ruth, she goes to work. And let's read on down verses 3 and 4.
And she went and came and gleaned in the field after the reapers. And her hap was to light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz, who was of the kindred of Elimelech. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem, and said unto the reapers, the Lord be with you. And they answered him, the Lord bless thee.
Go on.
Then said Boaz unto his servant that was set over the reapers, whose damsel is this?
Watch out now. Watch out now. You don't know who God got watching you. You don't know who the CEO of your company is. And what it lies in store for you. God send Boaz back, bring him back, just in time to see her. Amen. You don't know who God got watching you on your job. Where you serving at? Are you serving with the right spirit? Because people are watching you. People are watching you. You think the CEOs don't know you? Because I'm just a peon is how we see ourselves. Amen. I don't want to be on this job. I don't want to do this. I don't want to work at McDonald's. This beneath me. But you don't know how God is setting you up. Amen. So God sent Boaz back in town, and Boaz see her, and he started inquiring about her. How many know God got your name in places your feet has never stepped in? You don't know who God has put on your mind, or God has put you on the mind of somebody who's inquiring about you. Amen. You don't know who God got watching you. Amen. That's why when we serve, we got to do it with excellency. Amen. And so Boaz went on and inquired about her, and he asked who she was. He said, who damsel is this? Out of all the people, huh? Hey, she behind. You know, we look like, because we working behind somebody, we too good to pick up behind somebody. But they leaving stuff in the field. All right, and Ruth is coming behind them. She coming behind them. How many know sometimes we got to come behind before we go before somebody? If you can't follow, you can't lead. Amen? So Ruth is in the field, and she's working, and God make Boaz notice her. Amen. And so he goes to his worker. He said to his supervisor, he said, who is that? Who is this damsel? Not only did he notice how I imagine Ruth was fine, you know, but he noticed her work skills. He noticed how faithfully she was working, amen. And he inquired of her, amen. I wonder who God has inquiring of you. Amen. Amen. Let's read on to verse 10.
And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, It is the Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab. And she said, I pray you, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came and hath continued even from the morning until now, that she tarried a little in the house. Then said Boaz unto Ruth, Hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence, but abide here fast by my maidens.
Go ahead and read verse 9 and 10.
Let thine eyes be on the field that they do reap, and go thou after them. Have I not charged the young men that they shall not touch thee? And when thou art athirst, go unto the vessels, and drink of that which the young men have drawn. Then she fell on her face, and she bowed herself to the ground, and said unto him, Why have I found grace in thy eyes, that thou shouldest take knowledge of me, seeing I am a stranger?
Now look at this setup. Look at this divine setup. This woman in the field. She working, I'm sure, from when I read that, she was used to the good life. She wasn't used to picking up behind somebody, picking up the scrap or the pieces that was left. Because the glean is like what is left that they drop along the way. And she was behind them picking it up, picking up the harvest, the barley, picking it up. And while she's working, she's noticed by the owner. Amen. The owner of the field. Amen. She's noticed and she's working, and I'm sure from the life that she came from, this was degrading to her. It was tiring. Because she didn't have to work when her husband was alive. But life changes. And when life changes, you have to make the adjustments with life. Amen? So she goes to work, and she in Boaz's field, and Boaz noticed her, and he noticed how faithful she's working. He noticed how she's working and not complaining. He probably was used to the people complaining. You know how we complain. Amen. I don't want to be here today. Amen. I'm going to barely do this. I'm going to pick this up here. I'm going to skip all the way over here. And I'm going to pick this up here. Amen. I don't want to be at this job. This job, I'm better than this. But how many know God could be testing your character? Could be testing your faithfulness to see if you're going to be faithful where you're planted at, to see if you're going to blossom where he planted you at. Everybody want to go in for the big bang, but how many know that we can't despise small beginnings? We got to start here in order to get here and to move here. How many know there is no double grace in the Holy Ghost? You got to go step by step in the Holy Ghost. Amen. God is working on you while he's taking us step by step to get to the payday. Amen. But we can't get to the payday because we're complaining. We're complaining about a job we asked God for. We're complaining about the work that we got to do. And then many of us, Ruth is diligently working. She consistent in what she doing. She ain't going, and as soon as she get to work, after she clock in, she go get her coffee. I'm just saying. She goes to work. After she clock in, then I'm going to go on Facebook. Still in the company time. But we want a payday. We want promotion. Amen. So Ruth is diligently working, and Boaz noticed her, and Boaz shows her favor. He shows her favor. He said, you ain't got to go work in nobody else's field. There's going to be plenty for you in this field. He said, because I see how consistent you are. I see, no doubt she was probably working and singing, glory to God, hallelujah. She was happy, picking up behind somebody else. She was happy, and she was working faithfully. She was working her minimum wage job. You know that $7.75 they pay? She was working it with a spirit of gladness. She was serving in her job. How many people you know notice Ruth? It's something different about her. Oh, all the rest of us come in here and complain. She's been working since she got here. She's still working. She's still singing. She's working with joy. How many people go to work with joy? How many people go to work singing? Glad that you got a job to go to. Amen? How many people know that'll get you noticed? While everybody else complaining, you there, you diligently, you're faithful, you're consistent, and you're working, you're doing everything the boss asks you to do without complaining. Set up. God has a way of setting us up. Amen. Now the work is tiring, perhaps degrading, but her attitude was good and she was faithful. When the task we've been given is not up to our true potential, we must have the right spirit in it. God is testing us. Everything ain't about the devil. Everything ain't about you. God is testing. He's building. He's taking out. He's uprooting. He's plucking. He's emptying you out and putting him in. God is working on your character. He's checking character flaws. He's trying to show you how to be faithful where you are, to be blossom where you're planted, to do all things with the spirit of excellency. Ruth worked with excellency. We ought to serve God with excellency. Amen? Amen. It may be a test of your character to see if we will be faithful over the small things. How you gonna come on somebody's job and want to be the CEO? It ain't your company. How you gonna come in and somebody tell you to do something, you say, I ain't gonna do this? Is this the job you prayed for? Is this the job God bless you with? And then you came in there and not do what you're told to do? Then you come in there and you get smart with the employer. But this woman had a spirit of excellency. And God, because of her excellent spirit, her non-murmuring and complaining spirit, God calls the owner, the CEO, the company owner, the big boss, to notice her. Amen? Because God was strategically setting her up to be blessed. And God is strategically setting you up to be blessed. Amen? How many know payday is here? Amen? How many ready to get paid today? Amen? All right, let's go to Ruth, because I want to get through these scriptures. Let's go to Ruth 4, 1 through 4, so I can show you how when you go and do things with an excellent spirit, that the company that you once was an employee of, you can be the employer of. Amen? Amen. Ruth 4.
Then went Boaz up to the gate, and set him down there. And behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by, unto whom he said, Ho, such a one, turn aside, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down.
Now in Jerusalem, there was a law that you had to purchase the land from the kinsmen. So Boaz wanted to purchase the land from the kinsmen. And he knew that if he went to the city gates where they transact business, it was like the city hall. It's like our city hall. They transact business there. And he knew that people passed through there. And if he wanted to catch his kinsmen, he went and sat at the city hall. And so while he's sitting at the city hall, the very cousin of the man that owned the field came through the gates. Amen. And so Boaz, as he come through the gates, he stopped him. Amen. And he said, hey, we got some business we need to take care of. Amen. He said, there's a transaction that we need to do. Transaction is movement. Amen. And when we're transacting, we study moving. But if we complain and we can't transact because it stick us where we are. Amen. So Boaz said, we got some business to take care of. How many know God got some business for us to take care of? Amen. Read on.
And he took 10 men of the elders of the city.
He took some witnesses with him.
And said, sit ye down here. And they sat down.
I need you to witness this for me. How many know sometimes people need to see what we're doing? Amen. We need to be a witness for somebody. Amen. People need to witness the Christ in us. People don't need to witness you, but the Christ in you. Amen. We need to give them something they can see. Amen. They need to see something. Amen. We live in a show me generation now. We just so happen to live in a show me state. So what are we showing? What can we show for the Christ in us? Amen. What can we show for serving God? Amen. Go on reading.
And then said unto the kinsman, Naomi, that is come again out of the country of Moab, selleth a parcel of land which was our brother Elimelech's. And I thought to advertise thee, saying, Buy it before the inhabitants, and before the elders of my people. If thou wilt redeem it, redeem it. But if thou wilt not redeem it, then tell me, that I may know, for there is none to redeem it beside thee, and I am after thee. And he said, I will redeem it.
Go on to read verse 5 for me.
Then said Boaz, What day thou buyest the field of the hand of Naomi, thou must buy it also of Ruth the Moabitess, and the wife of the dead, to raise up the name of the dead unto his inheritance. And the kinsman said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I mar mine own inheritance. Redeem thou my right to thyself, for I cannot redeem it.
Okay, read verses 9 and 10, and let's see the setup here.
And Boaz said unto the elders, and unto all the people, You are my witnesses this day, that I have bought all that this was Elimelech's, and all that was Chilion's and Mahlon's of the hand of Naomi. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead unto his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. You are witnesses this day.
So Boaz made the transaction with the living kinsman to purchase the field from him. Now, watch this divine setup. When Boaz purchased the field from the living kinsman, and all the elders that he had, the 10 elders witnessing it, he had a witness so that he did business and transacted fairly. We can't do business under the table. We have to do business according to God. Amen. So he makes this deal. Lo and behold, the person that said, I'm going to bust a move and go to work, the person that said, I'm going to serve this God with excellence, I'm going to work this job like it is the best job I ever had. The person who was gleaning, going behind everybody, picking up behind them, came with the purchase. Ruth came with the purchase. Divine setup. Because of her excellent attitude, because of the way she served, because of the way her attitude and her spirit was, because of her love for God, because she wanted to help take care of her mother-in-law. Many of us don't even speak to our mother-in-law. And because of her right spirit, God showed her favor. We want a payday, but our spirit's ugly. We want to get paid for having a bad attitude. We want to get paid for going on our jobs and stealing time. When you on your job, it's not time to be on Facebook. Amen? When you on your job, it ain't time for you to be playing your games, your video games. Amen? So she worked her minimum wage job like it was the best job she ever had in her life. Amen? And through her faithfulness and through her serving and through her spirits of an excellency, God showed favor for Ruth. Ruth went from gleaning in the field to owning the field. How many know it's payday up in here? Amen? Glory to God. Amen? If you be faithful over a little, God will make you rule over much. Amen? I know you've been holding on a long time, but keep on holding on. Payday is here. It's time for us to get paid. Amen?
Thank you for watching today's broadcast. If ever in the St. Louis area, please come visit our North Campus, located 7200 West Florissant, St. Louis, Missouri, 63136, or give us a call. We would love to hear from you at 314-659-8522. For more information on how to get connected, write to us or visit us online at anthonytrice.org. And we thank you for your continued support.